Hello learners, this is Habiba with Excel with me. If you like the video, please do like, share, subscribe and comment below. Let's start today's class, that is Research in Education, Techniques of Research. Already we have discussed about three, that is observation, interview, projective techniques. In the previous class we have understood about observation in detail and what are the methods that data can be collected, that is structured or unstructured or systematic also. Structured we can call it as systematic also, and then unstructured observation. And also we have understood how we can divide the data collection into two, that is overt and covert categories. We have understood in detail. Today we are going to discuss about the second technique of research, that is interview. Now it is an effective method of data collection. Obviously, when we go personally and ask the questions about the subject and whatever research we are going in detail, person to person, we can get the data. It is a systematic and objective conversation. Now what is interview actually? It is a systematic and objective conversation between whom? An investigator and a respondent, obviously. For what? For collecting relevant data for a specific research study, obviously. So it is an interview. Now interview, it collects a wide range of data from factual demographic data to highly personal and intimate information relating to whom? A person's opinion, attitudes, values and beliefs, past experience and future intentions. So even we can understand about the demographic data. Highly it may be where the person lives, how they have shifted from one place, migrated or not. All these related to demography, and also personal information, also intimate information about what is the opinion of that person related to any problem or attitudes or values and beliefs, what was the past experience and future intentions of that subject or the respondent. We can understand very clearly face to face, person to person conversation. Now interview method is a very important in the collection of data from the respondent who is less educated or illiterate also. Suppose we are giving a questionnaire to the illiterate person, it will not be a useful technique. So what is it here? Here even educated person we can conduct an interview, and also uneducated or illiterate person also we can conduct, so that they can converse and give the related information. Now personal interview is more feasible when the area covered for survey is compact. If survey is very compact, then personal interview helps very well. Now probing is a very important part of an interview. What is probing here? Instigating the questions, asking the questions, probing the questions continuously. One question, if they give the answer and related to that, again they can probe the question to the respondent. Now what are the types of interview here? Structured or directive interview, or focused interview, depth interview, unstructured or non-directive interview, clinical interview. Now let's understand about these in detail here. What are all these? Now the first one, structured or directive interview. Directive itself is saying something very important, that is it's direct. That is, in this type of interview, the investigator goes to the respondent with a detailed schedule already prepared. Some questions in same sequence are asked from all the respondents. We will not ask related to that respondent spontaneously probing the question. Here structured or directive itself, that is direction is given already. Structured questions are there to all the respondents, same questions will be asked. Now the second one, unstructured, obviously opposite to the structured, unstructured or non-directive interview. In this type of interview, the respondent is encouraged to give his honest opinion on a given topic without or with minimum help from others. Obviously in the respondent, respondent is encouraged here to give his or her honest opinion on any given topic without the help of somebody or with minimum help. Now the third one, focused interview. This is a semi-structured interview where the respondent shares the effect of the experience to the given conditions with the researcher or investigator. Now it is conducted with those respondents only who have prior experience of conditions given by the investigator. Obviously this is semi-structured, means half can be prepared and spontaneously on the spot the interviewer can ask the interviewee related to the experience, whatever the conditions with the researcher or investigator. Now, analysis of the attitude, emotional feelings for the situations under study is main purpose behind conducting these interviews. Obviously, doing the analysis about somebody or about attitudes or emotional feelings, that is important here. A set of fixed questions may not be required in this interview, but a relevant topic is required which is known to the respondent. Now the fourth one, clinical interview. While a focused interview is concerned with the effects of specific experience, now clinical interviews are concerned with broad underlying feelings or motivations or the course of the individual's life experiences with reference to the research study. So here in lot like focused interview, already it is said that it is a semi-structured. Now here, what is here? Clinical interview, it is concerned with the broad underlying feelings or motivations, whatever motivations that subject has during his or her life experiences. Now it encourages the interviewee to share his experience freely here. Now the fifth one, depth interview, to analyze or study the respondent's emotions, opinions, etc. Depth interviews are conducted. Depth itself gives you the meaning that in depth, in detail, we are going to discuss about the individual's personal life or attitudes or beliefs. Now this kind of interview aims to collect intensive data about individuals, especially their opinions. Now it is lengthy process to get unbiased data from the respondent. Obviously, interviewers should avoid advising or showing this agreement. Instead, the investigator has to motivate the respondent to answer the questions. Now the next topic we are discussing, that is features of interviews here. In-depth and detailed information is collected. Obviously, in-depth interview, in-depth details and information is collected. Now the interviewer tries to improve the responses and quality of data received in each and every function. Now he can control the conditions in favor of the research study. Obviously sometimes they can control, the researcher can control the conditions in favor of the research study. Now, what are the advantages of interview here? Interviews help in gathering supplementary information which can be helpful to the study. Interviews use special scoring devices, visuals and materials to improve the quality of data or information collected. Now, interviews use observation and probing by the interviewer to see the accuracy and dependability of given data by the respondent. Now, interviews are flexible in nature. That means at the spot also we can change the things. It's in the researcher's hand how he or she going to conduct the interview. That means it is not rigid, not fixed, it is flexible. Now, what are the disadvantages of interview? Interviews consume more time and cost. Obviously, going to each individual, each person conducting interview, it's time taking and also it is costly to move from one place to another. The respondent's responses can be affected by the way the interviewer asks the question. Obviously, it depends on the interviewer what kind of attitude and behavior that interviewer has, and the questions they are asking, that is dependent on the main interviewer. The respondent may refuse to answer some personal questions which are relevant to the study. Obviously, sometimes if the rapport is not good, then recording and coding of data during the interview process may sometimes be difficult for the interviewer. The interviewer may not have good communication or interactive skills. That is also one disadvantage. Now, what is the process here? Interview process. The following are the stages in an interview process in general. So first, preparation. Obviously, what kind of interview we are going to conduct may be structured, unstructured, focused, depth. That preparation should be done by the interviewer. Then introduction. The interviewer should introduce properly to the interviewee or the respondent. Otherwise, the rapport between the two will not be good and the result will be not in the favor of the research study. Then developing a rapport. Obviously, the good rapport will result in best information or data gathering. Then carrying the interview forward. Then recording the interview, that is very important to decode it and then have the results. Then closing the interview properly, and also editing. At the end, editing is very, very important. Which responses are important, which are not, that should be decided by the researcher. Now, what are the problems faced in an interview? The following are some of the main problems faced in an interview. First one, inadequate response. If the respondent is not giving good response, it's a big problem. Then interviewers' biasness, refusal, incapability to understand questions, that is also a very important. If the interview is not, interviewers' biasness is there, then the proper data will not be there. Then response of the respondent, also a big problem. Then non-availability. If the researcher is going to the respondent is not available at that time, that's also one big problem faced. Then refusal. If the respondent is refusing to give the answer or take the interview, then also it is not helpful. Then inaccessibility. Going from one place to another. Conducting interview means individually conducting means one person, then another person, they have to go. If the accessibility is not there, then it is a big problem. So we come to the end of this session here. If you like the video, please do like, share, subscribe and comment below. We will discuss the next third technique in the next class. Thanks for your attention and time. Happy learning.